I'm going to try to go through a orientation towards this new DM475V verifier. It's a barcode verifier that normally sits on a stand. This model with the big LED display on the bottom sits up about 41 millimeters above the marked surface and has the capability for doing 45, 30, and 90-degree verifications. It's different than the handheld one by not only size, but there are some differences in the software as well. So we're going to start with that. As you start looking at the Cognex family, we use this version for the handheld, the Dataman 8072V. But this one, 6113 Service Release 3, this is for the 475, and so that's the one we're going to start. As you start it up, the system itself is networked. It does have two custom cables on the back of it, that one for Ethernet and one for power. There's a power brick that comes with it. And when you buy the system from ID Integration, we include the Ethernet cable. Otherwise, there's 2 or 3 other additional cables you have to put together in your order. When you start up the program, it's going to find whatever Cognex readers are out on the network, and there it is right there. So we double click, boom, boom, and it will hopefully immediately connect to it and then pop you into the verification program that's part of setup. It's called TrueCheck Verification. This is from WebScan, but it is embedded within the setup program. And for those who have been using the 8072V, it's very much the same. There are a couple small changes. I wanted to point them out. First of all, you have your setup icon, calibration icon, your light choice icons here, and the same group of tabbed interfaces. Main and report are the two main ones you're going to deal with. I am not going to go through calibration because it takes maybe 30 seconds on the handheld. It takes 4 minutes with the 475. I don't know why, but this is the same window you would see before. Put in these numbers from your card and do the calibration process, and then you get a timestamp on each and every report saying when you calibrated. Okay, next one is setup, and up here you pick which standard you're going to be using. I'm using some laser etch marks today, so we're going to use the AIM DPM. If I had been using printed polyester or paper labels, I would be picking the 15415 spec. Okay, and then down here you pick what industry standard are you using for the data. And this is going to be a Defense Department barcode, so I'm going to pick UID. If it was something for healthcare, I would pick UDI, or retail GS1, healthcare again, HIBIC, might pick that one. So we go with that. I don't have a .p, so I'm not doing that. Nothing here other than a reminder of when you want to be badgered into recalibrating. It's your choice. User information, you can put whatever you want here and it'll appear on each report, the top header. Please remember to check generate report, otherwise you won't get one. And then navigation, there's nothing really here. So we hit OK, it'll ask to send it down to the camera, you do, and you're good. Now, if I hit go live, I will see my table. Now, I don't have the official stand for this unit. I have only jury-rigged this on an old microscanned verification stand. And you can see it's actually looking like it's in pretty good focus, but the key thing here is this feature here that tries to give you some feedback whether something is in focus or not. So as I take a laser etch mark, this is a fiber etch mark, I'll put it in here. You can see that goes to yellow, suggesting that maybe you want to change that. And it goes to green, and that's supposedly in focus. Now I could run it that way, but you know, that image doesn't really look as in focus as that does. So I'm not sure how much I believe this. Nonetheless, your choice. When you hit verify, it'll go through whatever the light choice angle up here and give you a result, not only for the data per, in this case, Mill Standard 130, but also the image grade over here, which is then reflected in this result. When you want to see the result, if you checked generate report, you will see this. And this is another difference between the handheld software and the fixed stand software. you don't have any choices here as to what to include or exclude from the report. And so what you get is a multi-page PDF file. I don't find that as useful. I really do like the software options within the 8072V realm, but it is what it is. Now, that's your whole process. Switching between main and report and doing this time after time after time. Now, we will do a separate video on trying to auto trigger this, but for now, that's how you actually do it manually. Now, a couple things you do need to watch out for. One, on the report, it may show you a report here, but not actually generate one until you go into the setup software and make sure that when you're at the main page here, you'll find logging over here, and you want to say logging and report settings, and make sure you're pointing to the right path, the right folder where you want the reports to go to. And then you can choose, do I want the file name to be, in this case, the Department of Defense UII, which is a concatenated form of the raw material or raw scan, or do you want to use the actual raw scan as the file name for the report? Your choice. Okay. And then you get to choose whether you want a web page or a PDF. I find the PDF more helpful because people can't edit it, first of all. And second, it's one file. If you choose HTML, you're going to get two files. You're going to get one for the web page text, and you're getting another one for the graphics. Okay, so I'm going to just suggest you use PDF. All right, so make sure those are set. Otherwise, again, you won't get a report created. If you want to see where that goes, pardon me, it is here. We pointed at this and it created this folder for the DM475, and then that's the looks like part of the MAC address for this unit, code quality, and there's the last file verification report I created. Right? That can be on a network drive, doesn't have to be on a local drive. And that's where they will go. So the next, and I should say the last thing I really want to do here is make sure that when you're in the setup program that your zone, you can define what percentage of the full field of view of the camera should be focused on for the barcode. So if you got more than one barcode on there, you can kind of use this blue region to say, I want my barcode to be inside here before you do a verification. And when you start out of the box, sometimes you'll see this. You'll see the region being super small. So you won't get a verification at all if your barcode is bigger than this region. So make sure you use something that's bigger than your barcode, giving you more flexibility about where to move this thing. You know, you don't have to be super accurate if that's positioned properly. All right, so that's pretty much it. Not a lot of differences from the handheld, but the multi-page report, the 4-minute calibration time, those would be the downsides, I would say. But the lighting angle choice is, I think it's actually pretty good. And something if you need to have a conveyor line or a high volume of UID marks, this is probably something worth looking at in lieu of the 8072V, which is a very manual kind of process.